Have you ever wondered, what are we made of? What would we see if we look inside the human body? Hi guys! Welcome back to Microwave Bros. So today, we are going to talk about cells, more specifically, animal cells. After this video, you will be able to identify the basic structures of a cell and identify the different cell shapes and relate them to the cell's function. Now, let's define what a cell is.
Cells are the basic units of life. They provide structure for the body, take in nutrients from food, convert those nutrients into energy, and carry out specialized functions. The branch of biology that deals with the structure, function, and behavior of cells is called cytology. Now we know that all living organisms are made up of these cells. But are all organisms made of the same cells? Now, let's take a look at these two organisms. One is cyanobacteria and the other is yeast. Would you believe me if I told you that these two organisms are comprised of two different types of cells? Let us define the two basic types of cells. First, prokaryotic cells. These are small and simple cells whose genetic material is not membrane-bound. Prokaryotes are unicellular organisms. This means that they do not have a nucleus to store their DNA. Instead, it is contained in a central area of the cell called the nucleoid, which isn't surrounded by a membrane. Secondly, eukaryotic cells. These are large and more complex cells as compared to prokaryotic cells. Eukaryotes can either be unicellular or multicellular, as long as they contain membrane-bound organelles such as a nucleus, mitochondria, and an endoplasmic reticulum. On your left is a cell of yeast. Beside it is a cell of cyanobacteria. Here's a Venn diagram to help you understand their differences and similarities.
As you may know, cells differ in sizes and shapes. This is related to the structure and function, location in the body, and relation with other cells. We will be discussing 5 different shapes of cells: spindle, spherical, amorphous, oval, and lastly, thread-like appearance. Within the stomach muscle contains a spindle-shaped cell that is responsible for contraction and relaxation. As for the frog's ovaries, it has a spherical shape which allows it to store food and nutrients for the developing embryo when it becomes fertilized. Then, found in the frog's blood smear are the RBCs, an oval-shaped cell which allows the transport of oxygen to be easier, and an amorphous-shaped cell with the WBCs, that is, shapeless with no definite form. They have an irregular form because these cells undergo phagocytosis in order to be able to move around and catch foreign objects. Lastly, found in the frog's testis is a whip-like cell structure that has a flagellum that allows it to move and swim towards an egg to be fertilized. This is called the sperm cell.
Now let's have an activity. In this exercise, we are going to identify the basic structures of a cell. But first, let us discuss the organelles that we will be viewing. Under the light, 3 parts can be seen in the animal cell: the nucleus, the cell membrane, and the cytoplasm. The nucleus is usually a spherical or ovoid structure that contains genetic material. Meanwhile, the structure that surrounds the cells is the cell membrane. It regulates the flow of substances between the cell and its surroundings. And lastly, the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is the substance outside the nucleus where the other structures such as organelles are located.
Let us first examine a human cheek cell. In order to see the nucleus, you should stain your specimen with methylene blue. If you do not stain the specimen, it would be difficult to see its details and you'll only be seeing black or gray. From the diagram, the dark blue spot visible is the nucleus, while the outline of the cell would be the cell membrane.
Now that we've seen that, let us move on to the sample slides. Here we have the fusiform or the spindle-shaped cell. The dark spots that you see in the picture is the nucleus of each spindle cell.
Up next is the spherical shaped cell. This right here is the nucleus. Meanwhile, the substance around the nucleus is the cytoplasm, and the outline is the cell membrane.
Do you remember what cells you can see in a frog's blood smear? You're right, an oval and amorphous shaped cell. The oval and nucleated cells in the picture are the frog's red blood cells, while the cells with an amorphous shape are the white blood cells.
Lastly, the whip-like flagella. You can see a lot of things in the picture, but don't get confused. These cells right here that have the whip-like appearance are known as the sperm cells.
You did it! Wasn't it fun learning all about cells? You're now a master when it comes to cells. We hope you enjoyed our discussion. See you next time!